Guys, Summer Del Piso back once again with yet another video. Today, I'm gonna talk about the people of the world and their energy levels. Basically, the long, the tall, the short is no one here has energy. And the more you rise on semen retention, the more you stay celibate, the more you stay honing your energy inside, building that inner light, you're going to realize this. You're gonna perceive the lack of energy in everyone, from the person that comes from Hungary, from the person that comes from Thailand, from the person that comes from Canada. I'm telling you, none of these guys have any energy whatsoever. We're gonna explain all of this and exactly what I mean right here, right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go, right? So why do you think secret societies are prevalent, right? Freemasons are a thing. We have people joining Freemasons. Why do you think they do this stuff? Why do you think these people worship 13, 12, 7, all these numbers? Why do you think they do things with kids, right? And they try to harvest adrenochrome. Why do you think they have all of these setups in life to extract energy from us? Why do you think this is the case? If you are an individual that has that light in you, when you have that energy in you, when you follow God's rules and you're building up that light to enact God's will, right? When you have these, when you fulfill these requirements and prerequisites and you have that light within you, you don't create systems and structures to harvest energy from other people. That only exists due to an ignorance, a mass ignorance of the individual. When an individual doesn't know themselves, when they don't know the rules of the world, the objective rules of the world, because we live in a solid world, we live in a material world, and the material world, everything within it falls under certain rules. To describe those things, we call it the study of physics, right? The study of forces in a space, right? There's also quantum physics that's basically applying the same study of physics and tweaking it to some degree to things that are unseen, right? But forces that are sort of out of our control, that are the propelling force behind the forces of the world. The Bible explains a lot of this in very, very simple ways for the unlearned to understand what's going on in the world. And when you keep those rules that are said in the Bible, the precepts, you don't commit fornication, you don't drink alcohol, you don't cast hate towards your neighbor, you don't partake in the drugs, smoking, none of those things to avert your way from the energy of God's will, God's trajectory in the form of experiences in life, then you are going to be a good person, you're going to do the right thing. Because we don't know this, and there's been a mass slander campaign against everything biblical, anything holy, anything religious, because the proponents of those texts and those groups of thought, those schools of thought, are all corrupt. You have people that are preaching for Christianity, but they're heathen. They smoke cigarettes, they do drugs, they smoke weed, they drink alcohol, and they fornicate. They have crosses all over their arms, and they do all of the aforementioned negative things, but they run a business, and so we should follow them. But we have some people that are a little astute, that have a big voice in the media, that notice these things, and then they lambast the religion as a whole. Ultimately, when you are doing the correct thing, when you're building up that energy, you're building up that light, you're building up that force in you, you're following the rules, you're not going left or right, you're eating the right foods, you're not eating the pig, you're not eating the crab, you're not eating the lobster, you're not drinking alcohol, all of those things, then you realize that energy that you have in you, people do not have it. And the main thing, I'm gonna get this out of the way, honestly, do not listen to anyone that's overweight. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When they are overweight, there are tapeworms in the stomach. Those are parasitical beings that absorb the energy that you give it through food. All of that energy that's meant to go into the body and go through the digestive system to be metabolized into energy to be used for the various systems of the body, the circulatory system, respiratory system, the nervous system, and all. The worms that are in the body of the overweight individual takes these things. The gut health, by the way, of the individual is tied and inextricably linked with the mental health. One can say the adversary, Satan, which is the nervous system, feeds immensely off of the energy of the tapeworms that exist in the fallen individual. Meaning, if you are not doing the right things, you're not eating the right foods, you're not conducting the right physical exercise, you are going to have these parasitical beings in your body. And for these guys to give us, children of light, people that are trying to do the right thing, that are the actual objectively right thing, staying on semen retention, not fornicating, following the biblical law, to listen to advice from people like that is completely crazy. And I'm telling you this, do not listen to any of these guys. A lot of these people now in 2026, the internet has been able to bridge a lot of cultures together and allow us to understand people from different parts of the globe. And so we have a lot of people, these secret societies, these people that made covenants, that absorb this kind of information and are able to have like this silver tongue when giving you experiences, pretending that they're learned, when they're not. They have not left their neighborhoods. They have not experienced anything outside of their locus of control. Nothing. They know nothing. That's all I'm saying. Do not listen to the overweight. The more you walk with this energy of semen retention, understand what you have done to build it. You have been in the camp, in the house, 5 months, semen retention, no release. You're not looking at adult film content. You're just reading the Bible. You're just reading things about Blaise Pascal. You're understanding more about how the world works, literature of the past, everything. You're just cultivating yourself. And then you're going out into the world and you're seeing these people that are pretending that they have energy, that are pretending that they're learned, that are pretending that they're religious. They have the tattoos again, triple cross. They have the tattoos again, Jesus Christ with the crown of thorns. You see the tattoos, the yin and yang, and they're heathen. They drink alcohol and they're looking to buy more marijuana. This is the people of the world. These are the people that surround us, that pretend that they know more than they are, that they know. They pretend that they have energy. The more you walk around and look at these people, you realize that they have no energy. Zero. I talked about this briefly, or probably a little in depth, in some of my videos when I go on my tirades about talking about how fallen the world is. But people, they drink these Red Bull, Celsius, they drink alcohol. They shots after shots after shots of very, very strong, high alcohol per volume liquor, just to feel elated and to say things that they otherwise wouldn't say, to ignore all of the things of their self that God puts them through in the ways of the trajectory of his will, that they ignore through vaping, through smoking, through drinking. And they express themselves and they yell blasphemes, they're violent, they're hypersexual, right? These are the people that they all pretend. They go into places of work and worship fueled by coffee, fueled by a joint. No one has energy. When you're coming in, when you have, for example, you have, like, I'll say in my case, I have 2 lines of work. I work at the Georgian restaurant and I work for the New York State. I go and I start, like, for example, there's some of my shifts during the week. I wake up at 7:10 or something, and I go to take a shower. I get to work for 8:30. And I work all day in the office, running around, conducting inventory, making purchase requisitions, all the stuff that are included in my tasks. I do all of that work, running around, go have lunch. I take my walks around the block, come back, go run up the stairs, come downstairs. As soon as my work day is finished, I go on the train, take the train. I'm excited. I stand up on the train, go to my other job, the restaurant, and we already know when it's busy. You're running up and down the stairs, making sure the orders are right, communicating to the kitchen, trying to communicate recommendations to the customers, and you're passionate with every single interaction because you have the energy in you. You're following the precepts of God. You're not fornicating. You're saving your energy. Of course, every single interaction with individuals that are receptive to your energy are going to be passionate. I do that for hours on end. I close the restaurant. I get out of the restaurant. I run to the next thing, and I still have energy to spare. These are 20-hour days. What is the problem? People cannot do this because they have no energy. They don't exercise. They don't follow the ways of God. They fornicate. They do everything incorrect biblically. And then they have the nerve to tell you and band against you, either directly or indirectly, that you are not worthy. You should change yourself. You should do this. You should do that. Gentlemen, I'm gentlemen. I'm going to tell you this. Listen and listen good. As this Venezolana told me back in Colombia, escúchame y escúchame bien. These people have no life force in them. The only amount of life force they have is to do normal tasks. Let me fornicate and let me evade childbirth. I want to perpetuate abortion. I am completely unbiblical. I am a heathen. I worked for 8 hours. I didn't even do much. It's just that I had to stay off my phone and release external stimulation from social media and constantly scrolling and looking at my curated newsfeed that only perpetuates drama, violence, and sex. I had to stay away from that to concentrate for 8 hours on end at work. I'm so angry, and because I'm so stressed out that I have to do this because I'm in a first world society and I need to support myself in the first world society, I want to leave leave work as soon as possible at every opportunity to go out and party and drink alcohol and try to partake in fornication. I want to increase my social value, which is through paying for clothes that I cannot afford or that make me look nice, so I can be alluring to the opposite sex to commit fornication. I do not care about starting a family. I do not care about doing the way of God. I do not care about following the precepts of the Bible. I care nothing about any of that. I just want to be heathen, because this is what the world is supposed to be like. This is what is supposed to happen. My parents lived this way. My father, right? My father has a huge belly. He has so many tapeworms in his belly due to the traditions that his father passed on to him. He cannot eat anything without a lot of sodium. He told me that this is what life is about. It's about constant fornication. It's about taking and without giving anything back. It's about drinking alcohol because our forefathers done it, and that makes us somehow concurrent with the ways of God. Because a lot of old cultures are traditional and religious to some degree, according to their own ways and own works. So my father told me this, so I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to drink alcohol. This is my life. This is what fuels me. This is what drives me. This is not what it's about. Gentlemen, understand that you need to take your own advice. Read the Bible. Sit down in stillness, in open spaces, absorb the prana from the air. Go to foreign lands and experience life over there. Do not listen to the advice of these individuals. The few people in the world, I think there was a statistic. Let's just bring some empirical data in here. I think less than half of New Yorkers ever traveled outside of New York, ever got out of the country. I think even a less percentage left the country. They know nothing, and then when they do, though, that small percentage that actually left the country, they go to places in Mexico like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, for example. This is just one arbitrary example. And if you speak to any Mexican, they'll tell you that these are vacation spots. They're not Mexico. It's technically within the estado of Mexico, but it's not Mexico. When you want to go to Mexico, Culiacan, Michoacan, Jalisco, right? Guerrero, La Ciudad de Mexico, Puebla, right? Oaxaca, Puerto Escondido. Those are real areas in Mexico. Most people, the small percentage of individuals that actually left this country, right, and go to Mexico, they go to do those party spots to indulge, to try to intimidate and to exploit, to seek fornication. Everyone seeks fornication. All of them, they have no energy, none. Why do you think sales of all these drugs, ecstasy, the white stuff, why do you think those sales are always high? Why do you think that there's a drug epidemic right now, a drug overdose epidemic right now? Because people have come to terms with the fact that they have no energy. They have zero life force. They have zero spiritual energy. So they do all of these things. They exploit the weak. They partake in mass fornication just to feel elated above us individuals that build the energy purely following God's precepts. We read the Bible. We do not do fornication. We are celibate, like Paul said. If you are able to stay single and focus on the Lord, then do so, like me. None of these guys have energy. Zero. Do not take their advice. When you partake in a conversation with them, the metaphysical exchange that is happening is that your energy, your focus that is being directed to them based on trying to understand and dissect what they're saying to provide a substantial response, all comes from a higher place, because you have saved your energy. You have built the light via semen retention, following God's precepts. And so that individual with darkness that fornicates, drinks alcohol, smokes weed, does drugs, they have no energy. It's just a black hole. And so they're taking all of your energy, and every one of these things that they're responding to you with that seems like it's intelligent, that seems like it's of a foreign angle, it's just your energy reflected back to you. None of this heathen have energy. None of them. Zero. Don't believe me? Go figure it out on your own, gentlemen. Trust me. It doesn't matter how strong they are. It doesn't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter how much success they have in the world. A lot of people do not have energy. They just do not have energy. They have no spiritual energy. That's why they wear beads. That's why they wear golden crosses. That's why they have these tattoos. That's why they make invocations onto demons in the Lesser King of Solomon. It's because they're trying to evoke dark forces to have energy that they don't have, that they can have in abundance if they follow the way of God. Go out and search. And with that being said, that is all I have to say about this content today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that kind of content. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Don't ever let this place get you down. I'm telling you, a lot of us that are walking, there's a comment that I received from a really long subscriber of the channel of mine, Mike Muscle TV, that told me, again, another very sad account of an individual being a little crestfallen and having a fading, bright countenance from semen retention due to their response of the people of the world that have no energy. Mike, you are good. Perhaps you're an attractive guy. You carry yourself well. As long as I've known you, you've always been chasing semen retention. There is nothing wrong with you. Gentlemen, on semen retention, there is nothing wrong with you. The people of the world are gonna try to convince you otherwise. They have no energy. Look at their habits. By their fruits they shall be known. They drink Celsius energy drinks. They drink Red Bull. They vape. They smoke weed. Look at their tattoos. Tribal tattoos. They know nothing about the Maori tribe. They know nothing about the Hawaiian tribes. Nothing. They have tattoos of the yin and yang. They know nothing about duality. Nothing. They fornicate. They drink. Trust me. They're not on your level. And do not let the opinions of sheep bother you or shake you or twiddle your views. You are all doing the right thing. You are all solid. I love you all. Guys, stay radiant. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Woo!